One of the main problems in our homes is the formation of mold that comes from condensation, which develops as a result of temperature fluctuations. For this reason, over the years, GeoPaint has tried to find new solutions to improve upon the results achieved by traditional anti-condensation paints by creating a new line of products that specifically establishes a dedicated system for this type of intervention. ThermoFiller is the flagship product, let's say, of this line, in addition, of course, to the Sanamur anti-condensation paint, because thanks to the thickness that can be achieved with the application of this product, and by using the right tools, it is possible to multiply by 5 the insulating and therefore anti-mold capacity compared to traditional anti-condensation, anti-mold paints. To make the application of this product easier, both in professional settings and, if desired, for DIY use, GeoPaint has also specially developed a unique trowel that has one smooth side and one notch side, already calibrated to the correct size to leave the recommended thickness, thus achieving the minimum thickness necessary for proper thermal insulation. So first coat is applied with the notch trowel, which leaves the already calibrated thickness. The second coat, on the other hand, is applied with the smooth side, which fills in the spaces left by the notch trowel, thus creating the recommended layer for this type of application. From a practical standpoint, this is a product that essentially requires traditional preparation, so a primer should be applied specifically in the context of restoring walls damaged by mold. Therefore, a mold-resistant primer called Sanafix is used, and after the substrate has been consolidated, 2 or more coats of ThermoFiller are applied. The process can then be completed with any type of finish, or as recommended by the GeoPaint restoration cycle, with the Sanamur anti-condensation paint. The application therefore starts with an initial layer of product on the wall, which in this case is represented by a plasterboard panel consolidated with the Sanafix consolidating primer. Once the primer has completely dried, the very first coat of the ThermoFiller paste is carefully applied using a sturdy trowel. Since it comes in paste form and not as a powder, it is a product that is very easy to apply because there is no need to prepare the mixture. Once you open the container, it is already ready to use. Now we slightly dampen the trowel for the first application with the notch side. Then, taking some of the product from the container, we first place it on the trowel and then apply it directly onto the surface. The thickness of the trowel's tip, combined with the angle we use when applying the product, creates these grooves, these indentations, which are already at the correct thickness. It's not necessary to go over the same area multiple times because this is a filler that is very easy to sand. So when you go to fill in the low spots with the second coat, you'll have the chance to sand and thus eliminate any imperfections. The recommendation, therefore, is to apply it as evenly as possible and then wait for it to dry. The drying times vary depending on the season. In summer, it's sometimes even possible to apply both coats from morning to evening. However, it's always recommended to wait 24 hours, as with any type of painting process. I have already prepared another panel with the first coat of notched ThermoFiller putty, so I can also show you the application of the second coat, which will fill the calibrated cavities left by the first layer. So I will use the smooth side of the trowel, always making sure to clean the tools. As I mentioned earlier, don't worry about small imperfections. Here we go. Okay, once the second coat has been applied, you will also need to wait for the product to dry in this case. You can then sand it with a fine, very fine sandpaper, precisely to avoid leaving excessive marks on the surface. Once it is completely dry, you will apply a coat of Sanafix, a fixative and anti-mold consolidant, and then you can complete the process either with the traditional Sanamur anti-condensation paint or with any other type of paint or finish. It is a product that essentially improves the performance of anti-condensation paints, supports them in terms of insulation, and can even replace them in certain cases. However, the recommended process is to finish with the Sanamur anti-condensation paint to achieve the best final result.